Good evening. This is Luke Thomas, QuakePrediction.com here at the Earthquake Channel. It is 9:49 p.m. in the evening on Wednesday, January 6, 2021. And first of all, we're going to go over the quakes that hit in our forecast areas, and then we're going to go over the earthquake forecast for 30 different countries. So we're going to start out, and we're going to share the screen here, and we're going to go over to this map here. This is in Chile. We have 4 significant earthquakes up in the northeast portion of the country. And our forecast map shows 70 to 75% risk area up in the northeast portion of the country. Over in Japan, we have this quake here. This is a 5.1 you can see here. And that occurred straight east of the Iwate prefecture. And if you look at our forecast map here, here's the Iwate prefecture. That quake hit exactly in our 95% risk area. And that was a 5.1. So that hit exactly where it should have hit in our forecast warning area. This quake here in Greece, 4.2, hit in north central Greece. And our warning area for that was in the 45% risk area. And we had a quake up here, 5.0, and a larger quake right here in 5.5 in southern Sumatra. And you can see that risk was right here in the 75% risk area, right in the area we were talking about yesterday in the warning area. And this area actually is going to grow in risk, and we'll get to that in a second. All right, in Italy, we're forecasting for a significant earthquake in the next 24 hours or so near Pescara, Italy, right here east of L'Aquila, maybe in that area as well. And we had a 4.9 up in Croatia. If you look at the forecast map, that quake occurred up here in the 70% risk area. And our warning is right here. So this is where we should get a significant earthquake during the next 24 hours. And we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to go to our forecast for California. We're going to start in California. And the risk for a significant, about 4.5 earthquake in southeast California near the Salton Sea remains tonight. And if you look at the 6th into the 7th, that risk diminishes to 55%, and the risk grows in northwest California near Crescent City. And then on the 7th and 8th, again, only 60, 65, 70% risk in the southeast, 65 in the northwest. And then on the 8th into the 9th, it looks like we can get a 4.5, maybe even a 5 up in the northwest part of California on the 8th and the 9th of California. Of January, I'm sorry. All right, now let's look at the Alaska forecast. And we're on the 6th here, so 60% risk around Anchorage in tonight, and looks like we get a 4.5 out here in the western portion of Alaska during the next 24 hours. The 7th into the 8th, risk down 60% near Kodiak Island. And then it gets kind of quiet here on the 8th and 9th, maybe near Juneau and Moresby Island down here, 60% risk on that day. So not as much risk on the 8th and 9th. The highest risk is on the 6th into the 7th, where a significant earthquake can occur out in the west. All right, in the Chile earthquake forecast, the 90% risk area near La Serena is going to increase on the 7th into the 8th. Northeast of La Serena, near east of Copiapo, 95% risk. This could produce a 5.5 earthquake east of Copiapo, Chile, on the 7th into the 8th. And that risk remains in that area, 85% risk on the 8th into the 9th. All right, here's a quake to watch for, and very high risk in east central, right here near Pescara of Italy, and that could produce a 4.5 to 5.0, maybe even larger quake. This is a dangerous spot right here in the 6th into the 7th. So during the next 24 hours, watch for a significant earthquake in east central Italy. And then the risk on the 7th and the 8th moves over into Herzegovina, Bosnia area, also down near Sicily. And then the 8th and the 9th, it gets kind of quiet around Italy. We'll watch during the next 24 hours, looking for a significant 4.5 to 5.5 in Pescara area of east central Italy. And Japan, again, we saw that 5.1 earthquake up in this warning area here, the 95% risk area. We still could get a significant earthquake in that area, 5.0 to 5.5 during the next 24 hours. That risk remains on the 8th into the 9th, same area, Iwate Prefecture and Akita, Japan over here. So those two areas are the areas to watch for the next 24 hours. And in the Philippines, slight risk down in the west central portion of the Philippines on the 5th into the 6th. That's over right now. We're already into the 7th over there. So this central portion of Philippines could get, well, it's a 30%, pretty low risk there. The 7th into the 8th, west central Philippines, looks like you get a 4.0 over there. And then on the 8th into the 9th, we've got a 60% risk over in west central Philippines. So a 4.5 is possible at that time over west central Philippines. All right, in Athens, Greece, and you notice we've removed the ads here on the side so you can navigate our website, quakeprediction.com, more easily. And here's the map for Greece here. And the risk is in the far northwest near Albania on the 7th into the 8th. On the 8th into the 9th, we could see something in northern Albania or far northern Greece, maybe a 4.5 up in that area. Central America, 5th into the 6th. Let's look at this one here, 6th into the 7th. We could get a 5.5 in southern Mexico right here, west of Guatemala on the 6th into the 7th. And the 7th and the 8th, it quiets down a little bit here. And then on the 8th and 9th of January, very high risk here in Nicaragua and Managua and east central Nicaragua and east of Costa Rica here in northern Panama. So look for that on the 8th and the 9th of January. All right, the Ecuador Peru map. Still looking for a significant earthquake up here in northwest Peru, maybe a 5.0 to 5.5 on the 5th to the 6th, the 6th to the 7th. And now on the 7th to the 8th, still a risk up in northwest Peru. And then on the 8th and the 9th, that risk diminishes to 65%. So during the next 24 hours or so, we should get a significant earthquake in northwest Peru here, just south of Ecuador. And in Indonesia, we got that significant 5.5 in southern Sumatra, right in our high risk there. And then on the 8th into the 9th of January, central Sumatra here could get a 5.5 or even larger quake here in this 90% risk area, 5.5 to 6.0 in central Sumatra on the 8th and 9th of January. And Taiwan, very high risk in the south here, southwest. And this is the 6th into the 7th. We could get a 5.0 in the far southwest portion of Taiwan. And here again, southwest Taiwan, and then western Taiwan. So southwest and west Taiwan could get a 5.0, especially southwestern Taiwan during the next 36 hours. And in the Caribbean, this risk is building in the northeast portion of the Caribbean on the 6th and the 7th. And this is the day to watch. The 7th of January to the 8th, we could get a 5.0 larger in the northeast portion of the Leeward Islands here, east of the British Islands and the Virgin Islands here. This could produce a 5.0 larger on the 7th or 8th of January. And then the risk diminishes slightly on the 8th and the 9th. All right, Seattle, Washington area. Not much risk on the 5th and the 6th, 6th and the 7th. But here's when the risk increases. 7th to the 8th, you could get a 4.5 west of Portland. And then on the 8th into the 9th, we could get a 5.0 or larger southwest of Portland out here in the ocean on the 8th or 9th of January. And our Turkey and Syria and Iraq and this forecast is pretty quiet across the area. And then on the 8th into the 9th, the risk begins building out in the west and over into the country of Georgia, but pretty quiet across the country during this forecast period. And one more is the Hawaiian forecast. It looks like on the 6th and the 7th, the northern part could get a 4.0. And then on the 7th and 8th of January, we could get a 5.0 earthquake or larger on the 7th and 8th of January. Or maybe even this, they kind of happen at the same time. You'll either have an earthquake or the volcano will erupt more. So it could be either or. It could get a 5.0 larger on the 7th and the 8th, or this volcano in Hawaii might erupt more intensely on the 7th and the 8th. And the 8th and the 9th, the risk begins to diminish. So look for either a significant earthquake, 5.0 larger, on the 7th and 8th, or a more significant eruption on the volcano here in Hawaii, west of Hilo. All right, we'll go back to the California forecast. Once again, 4.5 is still possible tonight into tomorrow morning in California. The risk diminishes significantly tonight, though. And the 7th to the 8th, still a moderately high risk, 60 to 70% in the south. But then on the 8th and into the 9th of January, the risk increases significantly, and maybe a 4.5 or 5.0 is possible in the far northwest on January 8th or January 9th. All right, thanks again. Thank you very much for joining us here on January 6th, 2021. And we will be talking to you again tomorrow, Thursday night, about the same time. We're trying to do it at around 10 p.m. Pacific time every day. So look for that. Now we'll get this forecast out a little late. It should be about 10:05 or 10:10. But expect the earthquake forecast from the Earthquake Forecast Center here to come out daily at about 10 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon. Talk to you tomorrow again. All right. Thank you very much, and we'll keep you informed and keep you safe here at QuakePrediction.com. Thanks again.